the little red light's on. Hello, YouTube viewers. This is that very silly little fellow who calls himself Dr. Daywalker and loves to laugh at himself and everyone else. And today, let's see, what are we doing? Oh, that's right. Responding to some emails I've gotten and some messages in various message boards talking about the subject of goths and rock and roll and all that good stuff. So why do I dress like this? Well, because the clothing's cheap. No, actually, because when I was much younger, I started enjoying all the same things that the goths did, thinking like one, and pretty much acting like one, which drove mother crazy. But I just decided, if I liked it, do it. So I'm not conforming to everyone's little expectations, as I've gotten some emails to that effect. Why do you come to church and you actually look like that? You've got a long black overcoat on. Well, because the 17th century overcoat just plain looks cool. And that's why most goths do the things they do, because to the goth, what they do just plain looks cool. I read one the other day about, how can you be comfortable doing Satan's work? What would that be? Well, I guess that's all those flyers I've been handing out and all the music and everything else where I'm pushing Satan's work. Funny, I don't recall doing any of those things. Matter of fact, I don't even know any goths who do. The ones that I do know go down to the clubs, hang out, dance, have a few drinks, get a little loud, and basically have a good time. I haven't seen any depression or self-cutting. Well, I did that with a letter opener the other day. It was an accident. But people who do the self-cutting and the self-mutilation generally have some form of problem that needs to be addressed in some way. But they don't represent the entire community, and in a lot of cases they just need a little help or someone to talk to. As far as Satanism goes, folks, there's satanic people in every walk of life there is. Oh yeah. He's wearing a pentagram and a cross. Sure am. Gee, I wonder why that would be, sitting here talking about Christianity. Well, let's do a little research. The pentagram has a star in the middle, which the Christians used to use to symbolize the 5 wounds of Jesus. Yes, I know my glasses are too big. Oh well. And it was also the symbol of the Church of David back in ancient times. The star has often been used in the Bible to symbolize angels, the stars of heaven, the stars of heaven actually as well, and the circle often symbolizes eternity, the earth, things like that, all of which according to the Christian were created by God, and therefore there's nothing unholy about them. As far as it being an occult or witchcraft symbol, sure, witches wear them, so do pagans, but other people do too, like Christians. And if you don't support someone's God, then why are you worried about the clothing they're wearing? Because I don't think this is really actually going to hurt anybody. And the cross below that, crosses were symbols of paganism at one time too, as well as instruments of torture and death. Now, according to the Christian, they symbolize resurrection and salvation. So, essentially, these things change meaning depending on who's wearing them and what century they live in. Now, onward. As far as what goths think and what they believe in, well, death to a goth isn't really all that scary, because it simply is the end of the life cycle. I've got a hearse, and I've often been told, oh, it's had dead people in it. Well, it's actually the living ones that scare me worse than the dead, because they're the ones who can make the bad decisions and cut you off in traffic. As far as the hearse goes, people, when your mom or your dad or your husband or your wife or your pet dog Spot die, what do you do with it? You send it to the mortician to have them washed up, embalmed, put in a nice suit, as a general rule, and then they play a song over them at the funeral, such as Hell's Bells, I Did It My Way, Highway to Hell, something like that. But there's really nothing evil about that person in the box. Otherwise, if there was, the mourners wouldn't be going up, grabbing a hold of them, hugging on them, and paying their respects. They'd be going, you are now evil. This disgusts me. So they slide into a hearse, and they're driven in this very elegant vehicle to the graveyard. Are they evil yet? No. Well, then they put them on the little metal thing and lower them into the ground after the final ceremony. Are they evil yet? No. But if you go to Hollywood and you watch The Evil Dead and Dracula and Shaun of the Dead, then the impression you get is that the evil dead are going to come out of the grave and they're going to eat your flesh and drink your blood, and guess what? None of it is true! Dracula? Oh yeah, I remember that guy. He was actually a composite character of a number of different people, and, well, he wore a top hat too in some of the movies, which kind of looks cool, and that's why I wear one. As far as vampires, oh, vampires are rooted in evil. Are they? Vampires came along because people didn't know exactly how to deal with the science physics associated with dead bodies, such as cemeteries becoming aerated with too much rain and the bodies floating to the surface. So they would often nail them into the grave with a stake in order to keep the body from coming back. Hence came the stake through the heart. Oh yes, the music? Midnight Syndicate. Figured it would add a little spice in the background. As far as vampires, why are we afraid of something that nobody really believes exists? Do we really believe they're going to come and drink your blood in the middle of the night? No. Red Kool-Aid? I like that stuff too. Either way, vampires are not truly evil. They're simply people who like to roleplay, and they can only be as evil as the person who's playing them. Overcoats were very in vogue in the 17th century, and a lot of goths wear them for that reason. What else you got? Symbolism. Oh yes, the pentagram and the cross. We've already been there. And as far as the Christians go, they don't really have any business condemning the pagans, because if you look into the history of Christmas, Easter, and various other Christian holidays and symbols, you'll be surprised what you find if you actually do the research. Yes, research. There's that word again. Because I personally wear this, and I know a lot of other people who do, both Christian and non, because we've done the research, and we're just really not afraid of a little piece of metal, especially one that, you know, comes with little jewels and stuff on it. As far as offending people in public, well, sorry. You know, I got a belly too, and actually that kind of bothers me more than the hat does. But this is America, where people are supposed to be free to do as they choose to do and look the way they want to look. And there's some people out there with really big noses. But I'm not going to walk up to somebody and say, your big nose offends me. Now I'm going to take off my funny little glasses here and explain to you why you need to get nose reduction, because you look funny with a big nose. Yes, I know I look funny with this hat. Goths look funny to some people with their spiked hair and the metal and the chains and the spikes and doggy collars and all that kind of stuff. But it's just how Goths like to look. There's nothing good or evil about it. By Christian definition, sin is the transgression of the law. Where does the law say anything about black being evil? Black's the color of the night sky, and black's the color of the blackboard. Fog's not evil, neither are empty abandoned houses, and cemeteries are places of incredible history and architecture. So, that's enough for now, because I'm kind of wanting to hear something more upbeat. But if anyone wants to send me comments, I'm always glad to have comments, and I'm always glad to talk to Christians who don't refer to me as stupid, idiotic, and immature. Sure, I'm a little immature. Who isn't? It's the real mature ones that you got to worry about. But thank you for viewing this, and if you send me emails, just please be respectful, because I really don't like opening stuff that's profane or insulting. Thank you.